What's up, everybody? Excited to be here on another episode of the Insurance Untangled Podcast. I am your co-host today, Jordan Comstock. With me, I got Naren. What's up, dog? How you been?
Doing great, Jordan. I'm doing great. How was your Christmas break? How was your holidays, your New
Holidays are
Year's?
great. Flew to Maui, Hawaii, and just chilled for 2 weeks with my daughters and my wife, and just had the time. I didn't want to come back. Got on the airplane, and they announced that it was going to be 19 degrees in Utah with so much snow. I'm like, man, I should have stayed 2 more weeks because I can't. I don't know why I live here still. I always complain about the snow. Utah is an amazing place. It's
Of
beautiful.
course.
I love the spring, summer, fall. It's an amazing place. I've just always hated the winter time here. So
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I gotta go buy something in Hawaii, so that I could just skip winter. That's because I love it here. It's a cool place to live. So, anyways, how was your holiday break?
Oh, it was great. We went Florida for a week, and I
Fun.
had some rest and relaxation with the family. The my in-laws came as well, so that was kind of interesting experience. Everybody, like three generations in one Airbnb. So
So a lot of fights.
uh,
I'm
it's
teasing.
challenging with two teenage two daughter. One is 21 and one is almost 18. So it's like they have a mind of their own. So
Oh, of course, yeah.
yeah.
Well, Florida's always fun too. I love Florida.
Yeah, it's a great. It's warm. It was a little chillier than usual, they said, but it was around 65. It was
Oh,
65 to
yeah,
70
that
degrees.
sounds more chilly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was better than 19 degrees. I woke up this morning and I looked out my window, just w white snow everywhere, and I walk out in my garage and it's just freezing, and I'm just like, ugh, why do I live in the winter places? So I'll
Yeah,
take 65. I'd take 65 any day.
100%. Me too.
Well, awesome. I'm excited to be interviewing you today, Naren. We're going to be talking about 5 marketing strategies that will shape 2024 to be your best year yet. I can't believe it's 2024. So, welcome to the new year. Let's get started, Naren. I'll ask you your first question here so we can get an understanding of our marketing strategy this year. So, what 5 marketing strategies will make 2024 a practice's best year?
Absolutely. So let me just rattle them off and then we can dive into them one by one.
Yeah.
The first one is, if you want the lowest cost way to get new patients, you need to dominate Google. And bottom line is the way Google SEO works, the top 5% get 95% of the business. So first thing is rank for 100 or more keywords on Google. Meaning when I Google, let's say veneers, the city name, you should show up on page one. And you should do that at least 100 times for 100 different keywords and phrases on page
Okay.
one of Google. Second one is only spend marketing dollars after you turn on tracking. This is a mistake I see a lot of practices make. They might be spending so much time and money on things that don't produce results, but they have no idea because they don't have any tracking. Usually people think asking patients is a good way to find out what's working and what's not. It's not, right? It's like, humans are the most unreliable data
They
sources. I
don't
mean,
remember. Yeah.
they don't remember. They'll tell you what they think you want to hear. They'll tell you what they just thought of 2 seconds ago, not what actually happened or what actually is what made them pick up the phone and call you.
Yeah.
Uh, and then third is get 10 or more Google reviews a month. This is something that every one of you should do in 2024. At least get 10 or more Google reviews, ideally 5-star love letter reviews every month. Um, Fourth one is just because you're ranking on Google and you have great reviews, that's still not enough. People today see you as like a supermarket. So when I go to a supermarket, I don't buy everything in the supermarket. Let's say I go to a section that sells books. And of course, if the section that sells books has great books that, are the top sellers or whatever, then there's a good chance I might buy one or two of those books, right? So you want to make sure that each landing page is kind of like a section in your supermarket is amazing. When I go to, let's say, your veneers page, I should see all kinds of information about why I should come to you for veneers. And I should be convinced from the information I see very quickly. So work on your landing pages, specifically targeting all these high value services.
So,
And finally, understand how you are answering the phone and then making sure
mm,
it's done well. Because your SEO is working, your landing pages are great, but your phone is not answered well, you're still going to suffer.
My dad would always say when I worked at the dental lab, the phone is our best selling tool. And if we missed a phone call or weren't making phone calls out, like we would miss a ton of opportunities. And I know a lot of practices from when I talk to like phone companies, they say there's like, I don't know the exact percentage, like a surprisingly amount of phone calls are missed. And if you're spending money on marketing, that's kind of insane.
100%. Yeah, we have seen practices that miss 50% of their phone calls.
Goodness. Yeah.
I mean, that's like half your new patients because remember, people today won't leave voicemail, especially new
No
patients.
way. Yeah.
If you miss them,
They're
you
off
miss
to the
them
next
forever.
they're off to the next Google listing.
Exactly,
Right?
exactly. Google makes it so easy that they don't have to wait for you to get back to them. They'll just find somebody else, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, that's interesting. So finding 100 new keywords and getting you ranked on those keywords, making sure you're answering your phones and getting phone skill training, I think is super important. Improving your landing pages. What else did I miss? Was that? Oh, and then love letter reviews, making sure you're getting those um, when as you're helping patients and hopefully making them happy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so rank for 100 more keywords and phrases. Like why would this be important? If I'm a dentist this year, like why is that important?
That's a great question, right? So if you look at the way you get new patients, if you're a PPO practice, you'll get a lot of patients from the PPO plans. The catch is 45 to 50% of your collections or production will go to the insurance company, either in the form of a write-off or in the form of them controlling your fee schedule. So let's say you deserve to be paid $1,000 for crowns. I'm making up a random number, right? Now, when everything is said and done, you will only see $550 from the insurance company. So the other 450, because of the fee controls and because of the write-offs, goes to the insurance company. It's invisible. You're not sending them a check, but they take it off the top, so to
They
speak.
take it off before you can even collect it and see that money, right? Which is invisible.
Exactly, exactly. It's like,
Dangerous.
yeah, and a practice that's collecting 1 million. I've seen a PPO dependent practice that's collecting 1 million is doing 1.6 million in dentistry. So 600,000, $550,000 is given to
Yeah.
the insurance company.
Well, and
So if,
if you do the long-term math on that, I wrote an article on this the other day. If you're writing off $600,000 a year, what's the average dentist, I think, practices for 40 years, is what I read.
right,
Times that by 40, that's $24 million
million dollars. Exactly. That's
that
24.
you could have used to invest more into marketing, invest back into your practice, equipment, your team, yourself and your family. Like 24 million bucks just gone. That's insane.
Exactly. Exactly. So, and the other problem with this is that, like you said, if you invest that back into your practice is now growing even more, right? So, because of the low margins you have, the high overhead you have, because you're PPO dependent, you don't have money to invest. So your business is always struggling, always just barely making ends meet,
Yeah, that doesn't
and
sound fun.
and that's not fun. And like so, it's not just 24 million; it's more like $100 million hit because you have no
Because
money
of
to
the
invest.
growth, yeah,
The
the
growth,
growth that could
exactly.
have came with that. Yeah. Interesting.
Exactly. So
So, oh, go
your
ahead.
options are, digital marketing, which is 95% of new patients outside of PPO plans, or traditional ads, which is 5%. Under digital marketing, you have Google Ads, Google SEO, organic social media, and social media ads. Just to kind of give you a high level overview of cost, to get the same patient from Google Ads that you would get from Google SEO, you would spend at least 5 times as much. So if the SEO patient is costing you $40, the Google Ads patient would cost you $200. To get the exact same patient from social media ads, you might spend double what you would spend with Google Ads. So instead of $200 for Google Ads, it might cost you $400. Why is that? A lot of social media patients won't even remember you. Like they see you and then they don't,
Sure.
remember you because they were looking at Kim Kardashian or some celebrity and your
That's what they're
ad
doing.
showed up, right? So they're like, who are you? They don't even remember
You're
clicking on
not
your ad.
Kim.
Yeah, you're not Kim. So you have a lot of no shows and stuff. So when you really look at the cost of social media patients, it's a lot more than even Google Ads patient. Of course, organic social media is an option, but we work with close to 500 doctors and less than 1%. So less than five of them
Yeah.
get any benefit from organic social media.
I mean,
And what
I've
happens?
tested that too, Darren. Sorry, with
Yeah,
my own marketing and found the same numbers, like 2%
yeah.
like
And
success rate. It's like,
exactly. And the reason organic social media doesn't work for 99% of doctors is it has turned into influencer marketing platform. So if you're an influencer like, Pimple Popper, who's somebody we all know of, then
no,
you
no,
will
no,
get
no.
you will get traction because people will watch your video half a million times, and because people watch your video half a million times, Instagram will show your video to even more people. So
Yep.
it creates this
And they make their
cycle.
money in a different way through advertising and sponsorship.
Exactly. So the more videos you are able to drive for Instagram or TikTok, the more they're going to show your videos. If you can't do that for them, then they don't like you. So you really get no love. That's why 99% of practice owners, doctors, get nothing from organic social media, unless they are spending 20 hours a week and they have become that influencer like Pimple Popper, right? So anyway, so
Gross.
SEO is the lowest cost and the most effective. And the other thing is somebody else can do SEO for you. So ranking for 100 keywords or more is kind of one way to dominate SEO, Google SEO. So that's kind of why I feel like this is has to be one of your most important strategies from a marketing standpoint in 2024.
Yeah, no, I agree. So, how does a practice rank for 100 or more keywords? That seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, to rank for 100 or more keywords, think of it like getting into a top university, like say top dental school. Typically, to get into the best dental school, you have to have a great GPA in your undergrad. You should have great scores in your DAT exams. You should probably have good references. You should probably have a good set of interviews you have been able to do with the particular university. So if you ace all of these five or six things that the university cares about, you will get in. But remember, dental school is not free. You're still going to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to attend that school. So that itself, disqualifies a lot of people because they can't afford it. But on the other hand, when it comes to SEO, it's free, right? So every practice owner wants it because it's free, and every practice owner wants it because the stat that I shared with you, which is it's so much less expensive and so much more powerful compared to every other alternative, kind of motivates them to get that, get into that top 5%, get into that, Google dominance. So on one hand, it's really, really competitive. On the other hand, it's free. So the six things that Google cares about are just like, we talked about the university analogy. The six things that Google cares about are how many links do you have? Are those high quality links? Google Eat. This is something that specifically affects healthcare practices. E stands for expertise, A for authority, T for trust. Are you embedding these Google Eat principles? If you're not, then of course you're going to suffer. Third is original content. So do you have content that's 100% original? Nobody else has it, or it's not AI driven written content. It's really written by you. Fourth is Google reviews. So this is something I already talked about. Try to get 10 or more Google reviews. And there are six things like this that Google cares about. If you do them really, really well, and of course, one thing I forgot to mention is Google Lighthouse score. So every single page gets a score, and then you
Hmm.
need to get a high score. And last but not least is NAP, which is name, address, phone number consistency. So when you're listed on directories, do you have consistent information on hundreds of directories? If you don't, again, you'll get penalized. So the way we approach it is like we have large teams of people who focus on each one of these six areas,
Hmm.
and then we just keep working on them. So when you work on them day in and day out, week in and week out, you dominate these six areas, which means you dominate SEO.
Yeah, I love it. Man, it seems like whenever you do SEO, for some reason, I'm like, man, I feel like I'm in high school when I'm doing it like SEO because you got to get a score, you got to do your name, your address, your place on your paper. Sounds like high school for some reason. That I don't know why I thought of that.
It is. I mean, it reminds us of our school days, right? Like I remember,
Yeah,
like you do everything, right?
every
My
page.
daughter's, yeah, like it has to be perfect.
Yeah, no, that be kind of fun. Um, cool. So talk about you guys do your MSN, which is the marketing strategy meeting.
Yeah.
So a practice can look at their website and kind of be graded on their SEO efforts. Talk about that for a sec.
Yeah, so the marketing strategy meeting is our way of telling you how well you're doing with Google and why you are doing well or why you are not doing well. See, if you don't know how well you're doing and why that is the case, then you can't take any action, right? So
Yeah.
we spend 6 hours studying these 6 things I talked about in detail for your practice. So how are you doing on NAP? How are you doing on
Mm.
Lighthouse Go? And then we'll give you a report card. So you know, okay, I'm crushing NAP, but I'm really, really struggling with
Yeah, a
Google.
report card, just like high school.
Just like high school. Exactly. Exactly. And then a study plan, almost just like high school, right?
Yeah, just
Hey,
like study.
you got to see here. Here are the things you didn't do well. So you need to study this, and this. And here are the exams you have to take. And if you do that, then yeah, you will get an A next year, next semester. So that's kind of what we do. So we it's insuranceuntangled.com/MSM. It's a $900 value. We literally will go through in those 6 hours and give you a report card and a plan to dominate Google. Of course, dominating Google is not enough. We'll also talk about landing pages and how to improve landing pages because that's also
Sure.
something we focus on for our clients. So you get a complete plan. And now that you have the plan, you can do something, whether you work with us or somebody else, just
Yeah,
implement the plan and you will have a great 2024.
that's cool. So you want to turn on tracking before spending any type of marketing dollars, which I agree with. Talk to us more about tracking and why that's important.
Yeah, I still talk to doctors. It's kind of unfortunate who say, "Oh, I say, how do you know how are you doing with marketing?" And they're like, "Well, I think I'm doing okay or I'm doing poorly."
Yeah,
And then
Becky, the
when
front office says that 10 patients came, they told her that they came from Google. There's no, it's just,
exactly.
yeah, it's not clear or
Yeah, so they
exact.
asked, so the only way they find out how well they're doing with marketing is by listening to the front office person. And and that's not scientific, right? Because humans are not machines. We are not robots, which is our
Yeah,
strength. But when it comes to tracking, it's our weakness. We put
yeah.
our own interpretations, own thoughts, own memories into it. And we are
And
not
there's a lot of distortion there.
lots of distortion, right? For example, if we get a patient who asks about price, we say it's a bad patient. So, of course, Google might have sent that quote unquote bad patient, but that patient never even shows up because, according to the tracking, these are all bad patients because they asked about price. But think about it, right? When is the last time you go to a car dealership or car repair shop and say, hey, not ask about price, right? I have never been to a car repair shop, and my first
Price
question
is
is
always
not,
a good buying signal. Yeah.
yeah, like I'm interested. I want to know, what it's going to cost because I have no idea what you're going to do to my car. I'm not a mechanic, but at least I know what it's going to cost me, so at least I can make a decision. If I
I
want,
I I made my pricing really clear on our website, and I'm
right?
amazed at how many people just sign up without talking to like a sales rep because it's just clear and transparent. Like, here's our price. If
Exactly.
if you want it, take it. If not, go find somebody else. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, your price is your price, right? I mean, and
yeah,
so why not talk about it? But again, so I'm just giving an example of why asking your front office person to be your tracking source is a bad idea. So how do you track properly? You do tracking. So in other words, you put a tracking number. So you have a tracking number for SEO. You have a tracking number for Google Ads. You have a tracking
mm,
number for different ways you're getting new patients. That way, okay, I'm getting 7 patients from this method. It's costing me
yeah,
$1,000. The other method is costing me 300 and I'm getting 10. So, hey, $300 that's giving me 10 patients is definitely a better use of my money than the one that's costing me 5 times as much. So you
yeah.
need to know scientifically, and that's where tracking numbers, specific landing pages are really, really powerful. So you need to track these things properly. Don't ask your front desk. Don't ask your patients. Literally see how they came to you. Like put a tracking number, put a landing page so you know how they found you.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think tracking is so important just so you can source everything and know with certainty where your investment is coming from. I think it's always important to be tracking. Okay, so the next thing is continue improving landing pages. So for those that may not know, what is a landing page and why is it important and what are your tips?
Yeah, so landing page is that page that people go to after they Google something. So let's say I Googled implants and I see your ranking. So let's say I Google implants Phoenix or implants your zip code and you show up near the top. I click on the page, I go to your implants page. That's the landing page for your implants section. And when I go to that page, in 90 seconds, you have to either convince me or I'm not going to call your office. So what do you need to do in that 90 seconds? Step one is you have to show me that you are an expert in implants. How do you do that? Share your before and afters, ideally with full face pictures. That way I can see that beautiful smile, that's transformation. I'm like, yeah, I want to be like this other person. And usually in those before and afters, the patient will see somebody, or the potential patient will see somebody that looks like them. Maybe the same age, maybe the same kind of issues, maybe the same, even skin color, right? Because when we find someone like us, uh, getting the outcomes that we want to get, then we are much more likely to be convinced we would also get the same outcome. So it's almost like I'm sold already. So leverage those before and after, especially the full face pictures, to convince people that you can help them get the outcomes they're looking for. In other words, you are the expert. You are really good at implants. They don't care that you're a great dentist. They want to know that you can help them with implants, veneers, whatever they're looking for. Second thing you have to do is to get them to like you. And this is really important for doctors because unfortunately, a lot of patients think doctors don't have time for them. They don't listen to them. They know too much. So they don't want to look stupid. The patients don't want to look stupid by asking quote unquote dumb questions. So the way the doctor speaks, is he easy to listen to, easy to understand? Is he kind of, down to earth? Is he easygoing or is she easygoing? Those are all signals that will tell the patient, yeah, I'm going to be happy or I'm not going to be happy. So leverage videos that help patients believe that they're going to be happy coming to you. So those are two of the tips I would share when it comes to landing pages. So continue working on them. You don't need to worry about it till you rank, but once you start ranking, you need to work on it. So I see a website as a never-ending, ongoing, improving project where the SEO is improving, the landing pages are improving, and you just keep at it.
Sure. No, that's awesome. So another thing you discussed earlier, which is answering the phone, seems like that's a big problem for offices. What should practice be doing in regards to that critical phone answering skill set in the marketing process?
I think the number one thing they have to do is they have to know what their conversion rate is. And they have to know what their missed call rate is.
Sure. Yeah.
99% of the practices don't know. So if you don't know, it's like,
So they're not
imagine,
tracking that either.
yeah, they're not tracking that. So imagine you send your kids to school and the kids never get grades. Like, how do you help the kid do better if the kid doesn't know whether he's getting an 89 or
Yeah.
22, right?
Well, you
Or A
improve what you
or an F.
measure.
Yeah. So if you don't measure it, you can't improve it. Like kid has nothing to rely on. Like, okay, here is your mark. This is why you got the mark you got. This is what you need to do to improve. That's what a good teacher would do, right? Here is, what you got wrong. Here is how I would do it differently. Or come see me after class and I'll walk you through and I'll help you understand, the
Sure.
thing that you missed. So you need to give them a mark, right? Like imagine running a business where you don't give anybody any marks. You have no idea if you are getting 80% of the new patients booking appointments or 10% booking appointments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you really need to know this. So I think that's the number one thing I would recommend. So with our clients, we listen to calls, every few months or so, and we can provide some insights. What's your missed call percentage? What percentage of your clients are booking appointments versus not booking appointments? And here are some actual calls you can listen to. So you don't have to listen to 500 calls. Here are 7 calls you can listen to or 5 calls you can listen to see what you can do differently or better, right? So you can use your own experience as training data, training tools. So it's really powerful. So find out what your conversion rate is, find out what your missed call percentage is. Because imagine having a marketing that's brilliant, but your phone is not doing well, you're still
Yeah.
not going to get new patients. So you need to
You're going to
take
get
care of
leads
this
and
as well.
potential, but you're not going to get the new patients, which, yeah, that's such a critical component of any marketing strategy. I think probably the most important, because marketing, you can generate leads and traffic and rank these web pages and landing pages on keywords that are driving potential business. But if you got an office that's not answering the phone or saying the wrong things on the phone, that could stop the whole process from working. So
100%.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's interesting. All right, so you earlier you talked a little bit about your marketing strategy meeting. Where can a practice go and book an appointment with your team to get that report card?
Yeah, we'll make it easy. We'll put a link in the show notes. So if you find this particular podcast from the insuranceuntangledcom website, you can get it from the show notes page, or just go to insuranceuntangledcom/MSM, insuranceuntangledcom/MSM. And once you go to that link, book that meeting and pick a time that works for you. And we'll do the report card and share all the details with you. So now you understand what exactly you need to do to make 2024 your best year yet with regards to marketing.
And a side note, when I read that URL in insuranceuntangled.com/MSN, that's a tracking link. You're tracking everything
Yeah,
that's coming through the podcast. So you know that if the podcast is working for you,
100%.
you
Yeah.
practice what you preach.
Yeah. Because, imagine like we put so much effort into one podcast and it's not doing anything for us. We need to know that, right? Like,
Yeah.
why do you want to do something that's not working for you?
Yeah. No, I love that. So, Naren, thank you so much. I always enjoy interviewing you and learning more about SEO and all the marketing strategies that you help practices with. With that said, give if you like what you're hearing, please give us a great review, a love letter review, hopefully.
Yes.
And thank you so much for listening today. And Naren, thank you for hanging out a little bit today. We hope you guys all have a rocking day.